With FNCS just being a couple weeks away, we still have so many big snakenings on both NA and EU. We have teams that literally just placed top 3 in the Cash Cup finals, as well as an arguable top 5 trio in the entire world just split up. We have so much to go over in today's video, including all of the new trios, some rumors I have for you guys, and just some fun theories as well. Real quick before we get into it though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we're on the road to 90,000 subscribers now. Use code Kdog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. Without further ado though, let's start off with the major one, and the one that so many people have been talking about, and arguably one of the most controversial ones as well, of the brand new trio of Tayson, Trulex, and Chicho. Now the domino effect is absolutely crazy for this team, because we have to start off with the original trio, which was Chicho, Chap, and Tini. Now these guys finished in 34th place after last week's Cash Cup, so they were literally one spot away from being able to make it into the finals. And if we just think about like what could have happened in finals, like if these guys got a top 3 finish, if they got a top 5 finish, would they still be splitting up today? I guess that is just Fortnite at the end of the day though. We will never really know. I think the real surprising one though is the fact that Tayson literally just placed 2nd place in the finals with Trulex and Chris, and then Chris literally gets dropped after only losing the Cash Cup finals by 8 points. Now in a deleted tweet from Tayson, he kind of explained that like Trulex wanted to play with Chicho since he is just one of the most proven LAN players. And I don't know if Tayson's thinking like massive big picture here, since you know the whole narrative around him is like he can't perform at LAN and things like that. So if he is trying to pick up one of the most consistent LAN players in Fortnite history, and that is who he believes will help him get his best LAN placement ever, then I guess I kind of do get it from that perspective. But I mean, Chris is also just one of the most underrated players, and him and Tayson have been on and off playing together for like the past couple of months now, and this is like Tayson's best placement in general in so long. Just in this current moment alone, I don't super understand the decision to drop Chris. I mean, they are the pros at the end of the day, so they probably do know what's best for themselves, but to me it is definitely a questionable decision. I think if I had to give a ceiling and floor for this team, the ceiling would definitely be an FNCS win. Tayson and Trulex have already proved that they can almost win a Cash Cup finals, and when you're also adding Chicho, who's just one of the most consistent like high pressure situation players, this team can definitely win an FNCS. I think the floor would definitely be splitting though, and I think the only way they really do split is if they have a really bad performance after next week, and then I guess we could just see them drop Chicho for Chris again. But I mean, FNCS is literally like 2.5 weeks away at this point, so people really have to start getting their final team changes done. Before we get on to what the other players that were affected by that team change did, let's take a little trip over to NA and talk about another one that is, I don't necessarily want to say controversial, but it is just a very difficult situation for everybody involved, and it is the trio of Batman Bugha, Mason, and Eomzo. Now, Batman Bugha and Eomzo originally tweeted out that they are looking for a trio for the next 2 weeks of Cash Cups because Mason has to go on a vacation and there's like no way he can skip it or anything, and it's like a 2-week long vacation or something crazy like that. And at first everyone was like, oh okay, like that's valid, you know, he's gonna be gone. They still are just trying to get some practice in with some other teammates before FNCS starts, and then Mason gets back and they'll all just play together again. And then no, out of nowhere, Batman Bugha tweets out looking for one with Eomzo for the rest of the year. Now I saw some people like hating on them for this, saying like, how could you drop Mason after how good they have literally been playing together? A lot of people do argue that this definitely could be a top 5 potential trio in the entire world. They're definitely top 5 in NA, maybe even top 3 in NA. But you also have to understand at the same time, with how many times I've been saying this, FNCS is so much closer than a lot of people realize, and if they are just getting no practice with a trio they are literally going to be playing in the biggest event of the season in, then they just know they are not going to be able to perform at the standards that they want to be at. I think the situation really does just suck all around, because these guys were such big grinders together. They played every single scrim session, every single tournament, every single eval. These guys were always together, and it is kind of unfortunate because I mean, I think it's just a thing where Mason's parents just don't really understand too much, and he has no real like leeway in this situation. Now, if we're talking about actual potential teammates for these guys, I think the main one that all of us are looking to is like Reet, Skittles, or Chimp, because after Reet ended up getting dropped by Bugha and he formed with Skittles and Chimp, these guys were all very clear that they didn't really think this was going to be their permanent trio for FNCS, and all of them were willing to snake at any given moment. I think any one of these 3 players on that trio would instantly be better than whatever they have going on right now, especially after them. They just got absolutely destroyed in the Cash Cup finals off spawn, and I'm pretty sure they finished in like 31st in their first ever tournament together. Watching Reet play on this team would be so entertaining, but the thing about the trio of Batman, Bugha, and Eomzo is these guys literally did not stream anything when they played with Mason, and Reet is a player that streams literally every single event, including grand finals a lot of the times. So if they are willing to play on stream again, I think it would be so fun to watch, but I think that is going to be a deciding factor at the end of the day, is would they rather play with someone like Chubbs or Skittles, who you know will literally never stream anything and they can continue to just grind everything off streams together, or do they think Reet is that much of a better player than them and they're actually going to be willing to play on stream? I think there is a couple different situations that this could go. They could like try out Reet, see how things go, and if they don't do good together, I think there is still a very high possibility that by the time Mason gets back, they do all just end up getting together again, unless they get like an absolutely insane third option. I just feel like these guys already have so much trio chemistry built up together. They all know each other's play styles. They've clearly already performed in trio Cash Cup finals before, so they know they have what it takes to be like a top 3 grands team. So if they really aren't able to get any better options, then I think the possibility definitely still has to be on the board for them to end up with Mason again. Going back over to EU now, the other player that was obviously majorly impacted by the Tayson snakening was Tini. Now Tini's brand new trio, they are going to be landing Demon's Dojo, and he is playing with Chris and Skavi. Now of course the first thing that people are saying is, why would you just leave Chap, since Chap and Tini have literally like completely come up together, and Chap is still, in my opinion, one of the best fighters in all of EU. And basically he responded with, Chicho went to play with Trulex and Tason, and we are not getting one as a duo with Chap, so this is the only logic thing, since everyone is saying I'm the one who snaked Chicho and Chap. Now I guess that means that Chris or Skavi didn't want to play with these guys if it was going to be Chap and Tini together. He didn't even really look for like over a full day though. It was basically like same day that Tayson announced all his stuff that he announced his brand new trio. Now with this team right here, I'm not gonna lie, I just don't really see these guys sticking together. This is kind of just like a combination of like 3 random names on EU, and we have seen instances of this working in the past, but I'm just not really too sure how much I really believe in like this trio going into an FNCS. I think obviously they do still have a really high ceiling of maybe getting like a top 5 in an FNCS, but I think their floor definitely has to be splitting up, and then Tini possibly going back to Chap again. Let me know what you guys think about each one of these brand new trio changes in the comment section down below though, and who you guys think these guys are all going to end up with, as well as the ceiling and the floor for each of these teams. Let's actually move on to some trios that just ended up forming and have finally played their first official Cash Cup finals together. Starting off with the trio of Vania, Pixie, and Marius. Now the pickup of Marius was kind of surprising to a lot of people, but these guys absolutely showed out in their first tournaments together, finishing 3rd place in the Cash Cup finals. I honestly really do like this team. I feel like Vania was definitely always the more underrated player when he was playing with Swizzy, and so he gets to play with 2 just like absolutely insane fighters in Pixie and Marius. I feel like this trio's ceiling has to be like a top 3 in FNCS, and their floor to me as of right now would probably be like a top 10 as well. Now the next brand new trio that we finally got to see play together was of course the trio of Bugha, Aviv, and Threats. Now these guys finished 4th in the trio Catch Cup finals. Pretty good performance from them all around. These guys also had like a lot of controversy because of course they did drop Reet, and a lot of people are Reet fans, but I mean the trio of Bugha, Reet, and Threats never got a placement of 4th or higher. So as of right now in this very moment, after one singular tournament, it looks like they did make the right decision. I think the whole narrative around controller players is that it is always just going to be very hard to get a good grand finals placement with a controller player because of how limited they are in things like getting surge. And I think it is just kind of like universally agreed upon at this point that keyboard is just the better input. So even though Aviv is legit like a 40 ping pro, they would still rather play with him at the end of the day. Now let's actually talk about Chap real quick. Now Chap currently has not said anything on his social medias about even like hinting towards who he's going to be playing with for trios. He literally did just win the solo Cash Cup though, so I think if people didn't already know how good he is, this just goes on to further prove my point that Chap definitely should be one of the most sought after players right now in the trio market. I just hope he doesn't get stuck in kind of like the same situation that Vidil did when he was on EU, and he was not able to find literally any teammates on EU, so he had to move to NA. But maybe that was a blessing in disguise, because in his first trio Cash Cup finals that he played with Cooper and Sphinx, they ended up placing 2nd place in. Now they didn't just place 2nd place, they did it by like 40 points as well. And obviously on NA, we all know that the trio of like Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual are just like by far the best team on that region, so them still having like a 40-point lead onto third place is a very impressive start for this team. I think already right away, we might have to give this team like a top 5 ceiling, maybe even potentially a top 3 ceiling in grands. And I really can't put them anywhere outside of like a top 10 floor. I was super impressed with this team after their first event together, and I am very excited for the future of this team. Other than that, let me know what you guys think about every single trio that I went over in today's video. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we are on the road to 90,000 subscribers now. Please use code Kdog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. YouTube says don't enjoy one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter at Kdog to keep up to date with everything to do with Fortnite competitive. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.